take a guy like Canelo. This guy can do, he can pick and choose who he want to fight. And I'm gonna tell y'all the truth about Canelo. Easy, man. Cakewalk. Easy. Y'all sitting up here, y'all praising this dude. This dude was nothing. I was almost 40 years old when I cooked this dude.
You can compare and contrast the fight between yourself and Floyd Mayweather Jr. and tonight's bout with Terence "Bud" Crawford if you can.
No, I think Crawford is way better than Floyd Mayweather.
Listen, Floyd was the greatest in his era. I'm the greatest in my era. It ain't no need to compare me to Floyd or Floyd to me.
Floyd Mayweather has once again shaken up the boxing world, calling out Terence Crawford immediately after Canelo Alvarez's latest fight. Known for his flawless record and supreme confidence, Mayweather made it clear he's ready to step back into the spotlight for another high-stakes showdown. The prospect of Mayweather facing Crawford, one of boxing's most feared pound-for-pound fighters, has sent fans and analysts into a frenzy, adding a fresh layer of drama to the sport's ever-evolving landscape. The tension is now impossible to ignore.
Let me ask you though, Canelo this week actually said something interesting. He goes like Crawford's a better fighter than Mayweather. Do you agree with that? Do you feel like he is?
I think he's more all-rounded in some ways, but Mayweather was so good at certain things that made him impossible to beat. He really stuck to his niche of style, where Crawford kind of tries to fight the more honest, I guess, exciting, traditional way, being there, just moving out the way, landing the shot, where Mayweather would have you dancing around him and chasing him and falling short and falling in and countering the life out of you, and knew and understood 10-9 rounds better than anyone else. You only have to win 7-10-9 rounds clear and you've won the fight as long as you don't get put down. And obviously he never really got put down. I know there's a few question marks, but for all intents and purposes never got put down, and he was the best, one of the best to ever do it. It's very hard to go a whole career undefeated.
Terence "Bud" Crawford defended his unbeaten record in emphatic fashion, defeating Canelo Alvarez by unanimous decision to become the undisputed super middleweight champion. The fight, held September 13, 2025, at Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas, was one of the year's most anticipated showdowns. Crawford jumped up 2 weight classes yet looked completely at home, controlling the pace with sharp footwork, precision combinations, and a brilliant game plan that neutralized Canelo's natural size and power advantage.
What did you think? What did you think of the fight?
Man, I loved it, man. I love the fight, man. I love the fight. I did not know how it was going to go. I didn't think the weight was going to be a problem for Terence Crawford. I'm on record saying I didn't think it was going to be a problem, but it stood to be seen. It needed to be seen, and I knew we would have known after the first, second, and third round. You know what I'm saying? And when I seen how Canelo respected his jab and how Canelo respected his power from the very beginning, I knew how it was going to go. And I knew that Bud was only going to get stronger and get bolder and, you know, start to wear him down. Canelo is known to start to wear a little bit in there later on.
Everyone said that Crawford was not going to exchange tonight, and he traded with Canelo up close.
Man, Bud is the best, man. Bud is the best. I've been on wax and saying that, Bud. I've been on wax and saying that for a couple of years now. I've bet against Bud on Spence. I've bet against Bud on Porter. I didn't think that Bud was the best. I got to give it to him. Bud is the best, right? He's hands down. He's the best. He's the best right now. I don't think nobody need to question him no more. I mean, you kind of got to give him respect no matter what. You got to give him respect. He just went up 2 weight classes what people said he couldn't do. He's doing everything that people say he can't do, and he is doing it with ease.
Right.
You got to respect that.
Break it down for me. How did he win that fight in the way he won it tonight?
He won the fight by taking Canelo's respect. I think he was already in Canelo's head a little bit. I think that even though Canelo knew he was stronger and everything else, these fighters are still humans and they hear what the people are saying. Canelo was, I'm sorry, not Canelo, Crawford was undefeated. Look at what he did to Spence. I mean, look at what he's doing to some of these people. So no matter what, I mean, you have to take that into consideration.
Interestingly, Mayweather himself put his money where his mouth was, literally. He placed a $50,000 bet on Crawford to win at plus 148 odds. Despite Crawford entering the fight as the underdog, Mayweather's faith paid off when Crawford secured the unanimous decision, netting Floyd a handsome $124,000 payday. More than just a financial win, this wager highlighted Mayweather's sharp eye for talent and deep understanding of boxing strategy.
Check this out, guys. Floyd Money Mayweather just shared on social media that he bet $50,000 on Crawford to win, and he won $75,000 back. So Crawford made Mayweather $74,000. Most people that I talked to were betting on Canelo. A few people bet on Crawford. How much money did you win on Crawford? $200 here, $200 there. But most people that I know bet on Canelo. And we're here from Canelo. We're going to hear from Crawford. And I'll keep you guys posted. But right now, Floyd Money Mayweather bet on Crawford and made some money. What do you want to see Crawford do next? What do you want to see Canelo do next? Let me know. Definitely interesting developments here tonight. When I watched the fight live, I thought Canelo won. I think Canelo won. I have to watch it again, but with no audio because I know the broadcasters were all against Canelo. They were all against him all week from the rivals. I don't expect anything different.
In the aftermath of the fight, Mayweather made a bold declaration: Terence Crawford is the #1 pound-for-pound fighter in the world today. He praised Crawford's skill, discipline, and ability to dominate elite opponents across multiple divisions. For Mayweather, pound-for-pound supremacy isn't simply about titles, it's about consistently proving superiority over the very best. Crawford's undefeated run, capped by dismantling Canelo, has, in Floyd's eyes, cemented him as the man to beat in modern boxing.
Right now, in your opinion, who's the best fighter in the world?
We can't put Tank up there in the top 10 in pound for pound. He has to be somewhere in pound for pound. And Canelo done something that is amazing when Canelo was able to go to light heavyweight and become light heavyweight champion. Something that I didn't even see him going up that heavy, and he did that. So, but as of right now, I have to put Terence Crawford as number.
Crawford, for his part, has never hidden his admiration for Mayweather, not just for his technical brilliance, but for the way he managed his career and legacy. Over the years, Crawford has received bits of wisdom from Mayweather, which he takes to heart and applies in his own approach. Their relationship is built on mutual respect and a shared understanding of what it takes to be truly great in this unforgiving sport.
But I know how you is. You be sizing niggas up, bro. Keep it a stack. Did you in your head size up Floyd? Like, you know what I'm saying? If we was ever keep it real, boy, keep it real.
I'm never that type of guy. I think that's some grimy shit. I always been happy for him, been a fan of his, and I never imagined us fighting. Yeah. I never looked at him like, man, I know I'll be this.
But you capping, bro. I never thought like fantasy fight me versus Floyd, nah.
Never. I never just was with a person and looked at him like, I'll be this. Never. That's some hating type shit to me.
Like plot.
I ain't never been that type of person.
In a candid post-fight moment, Canelo Alvarez stunned many by saying, "I think Crawford is way better than Floyd Mayweather." The comment carried extra weight considering Canelo's first career defeat came at Mayweather's hands back in 2013, when he was just 23 and undefeated. Crawford's performance showcased superior hand speed, tactical precision, and flawless execution, stepping up 2 divisions yet outboxing Alvarez for 12 rounds with masterful defense and well-timed counters.
Fight Hub TV, right here in the middle.
Yeah.
Champ, first off, I want to thank you for the illustrious career that you have given us in the game. You've been a steadfast professional in the way that you conducted yourself, and I want to thank you on behalf of all of the boxing media.
Thank you, sir.
Number
my
2,
pleasure.
Champ, I wanted to ask you, this was a fight that we haven't seen from you before. We've never seen you have the sustained and prolonged frustration during the fight. Was there a point in time where you figured that this just wasn't going to be my night, and if you did, when did that happen?
No, I never thought that. I always try. All the rounds I try, but you need to accept it, right? Sometimes you cannot go, and I try all the rounds. I never think about that because, imagine, so I cannot think in that way, but I try my best tonight.
And lastly for me, Champ, in the world of comparisons that we live in right now, if you can, compare and contrast the fight between yourself and Floyd Mayweather Jr. and tonight's bout with Terence "Bud" Crawford, if you can.
No, I think Crawford is way better than Floyd Mayweather.
Jeff Mayweather, Floyd's uncle, quickly responded to Canelo's statement. He suggested Canelo's comments were a way to soften the blow of his own loss, elevating Crawford's status to make the defeat seem less damaging. Jeff reminded fans that Canelo's fight with Mayweather happened during Canelo's prime years and argued that Floyd's defensive brilliance remains unmatched, even compared to Crawford's skill set.
Remember, Canelo at that time was a razor-thin decision. Floyd won, majority decision. C.J. Ross had it with what a lot of people had as a draw, and then the other two judges scored it for Floyd, of course. And that was a Floyd at the top of his game with a very green Canelo with very little experience, and he took him, into deep waters. So.
Yeah. What was Canelo? What, 20-something? 20 what? 23? 25?
Yeah, he was. Very, very young in the game, obviously.
Yeah, very young. He had more fights than Floyd, and he lost.
Yeah, but
a man that was 30-something years old, 36.
But Floyd was clearly at the top of his career, and Canelo had fought a lot of people. But
how you at the top of your career in your prime? You in your prime? You ain't in your prime when you're at 36. That's not your prime.
Did he lose? I mean,
your prime is in your 20s.
It's different for different people.
Yeah, okay. Well, so, and that's why Canelo is saying what he's saying.
To
make himself look like he did something.
Trainer Greg Hackett also joined the conversation, firmly standing by Mayweather as the superior fighter. While acknowledging Crawford's impressive win over Canelo, Hackett emphasized that Mayweather's unmatched defense, ring IQ, and undefeated record across multiple divisions keep him above Crawford in the all-time rankings. His comments highlight how split the boxing world remains when it comes to this debate.
The Floyd Mayweather that Canelo Alvarez fought.
Yeah.
In the last version of Terence Crawford that we've seen in the ring.
Yeah.
Who's the better fighter, Jay?
Of course you got to give it to Floyd. Floyd at that time, Ben, what's up? Floyd at that time versus Canelo was in total confidence. His skill set, his IQ, you know what I'm saying? Everything he do, he was just a complete fighter that night. But I feel like was up against a lot because he was fighting a guy that we knew something about, but we didn't know too much about. People don't understand how much a fighter could be thrown off by what he don't know. And the reason it throws you off is because you're actually learning about the fighter while you're in there. That's what Bud went up against that night. That's why he didn't look.
Promoter Eddie Hearn dismissed Canelo's claim that Crawford is better than Mayweather, arguing that Crawford's resume doesn't measure up. He pointed out that many of Crawford's opponents were past their prime when they faced him and stressed that Mayweather consistently defeated elite fighters across 5 weight classes. For Hearn, Crawford's win over Canelo was impressive, but not enough to surpass Mayweather's legendary body of work.
Canelo saying that Crawford's a better fighter than Mayweather. Do you agree with that?
No, I don't, but I think Crawford's a phenomenal fighter. The thing is with Crawford, and I was kind of goading him on this, and it's not his fault, his resume's not that impressive. Like I said to him, tell me your best win ever. This is what I said to him. And you know what he said? Ricky Burns. Right? Now Ricky Burns is a great fighter. It's my guy. He's a 3-division world champion. But you can't say that he is, like one of the greats. He's one of the greats of Scottish boxing. But if you're talking about one of the greatest pound-for-pound fighters of all time, it's not Terence's fault that he hasn't been able to get those fights. But a lot of the guys that he's fought have been done. Even arguably Ricky Burns at the time. I know he went on to win other world championships, but he was kind of on the slide at that time. Kell Brook, Amir Khan, Gamboa, all of these guys. Who else did he beat? Ndongo, like Errol Spence, another example. Terence is brilliant, but he's never actually really had many notable victories. This would be it. I mean, this would be an incredible achievement. But I just feel like at the age that they're at, like, what is going to happen in this fight? And I just see I don't think Terence, because he shouldn't, is going to take that many chances in the fight. He needs to use his movement, use his footwork, which Canelo doesn't like, and win rounds. And Canelo doesn't really like to force a fight. When did you last see Canelo really trying to get a finish?
Carmamel Lawton also weighed in, doubling down that Mayweather will always be the GOAT. He praised Crawford's dominant performance but argued that greatness is about more than a single night. It's about longevity, unblemished excellence, and making history as an undefeated champion. In his eyes, Crawford is elite, but Mayweather's legacy exists in a different tier altogether.
Where do you sit with this? Because two pound-for-pound greats of this era. Canelo, we see the resume. Crawford, you know, two-time undisputed. Potentially this weekend becomes 3. I've said in a few interviews, is it skills pay the bills, or does a good big man beat a good little man? How do you see it?
I feel like the skills pay the bills, you know, and I feel like Crawford's not that much littler than Canelo. You know, we've seen in the face-off that they're around the same size. If not, Crawford look a little bigger than. Yeah, for sure. So, you know, really just we're gonna see tomorrow, you know, how it plays out. Whoever the better man is that night, I feel like will win. You know, I feel like it's even playing fields, and you know, both guys coming ready. So we're just gonna have to see.
If Terence does win this, a lot of people are saying that puts him as the greatest of all time. Now, I know it's hard because obviously you've been with Floyd, and a lot of people are saying Floyd is the greatest. But does that at least put him in that conversation with your Floyd Mayweathers, your Manny Pacquiao's, your Sugar Ray Leonard's, all the greats of the past, and obviously Canelo obviously as well, because he'll be there. Does that put him there?
Yeah, for sure. You know, of course, nobody will ever. I feel like Floyd will always be the greatest of all time.
Terence Crawford himself addressed the constant comparisons to Floyd Mayweather. He made it clear that he respects Floyd but believes each fighter should be celebrated within the context of their own era. Crawford stated confidently that he is the greatest of his generation, just as Mayweather was in his. His longtime trainer, Brian "Bo-Mac" McIntyre, added that there's no rush for another fight. Crawford just achieved one of the biggest wins of his career and deserves time to recover, rest, and enjoy his accomplishment before thinking about what's next.
You know what? We're going to get back in the gym. We're going to get back in the gym, and we're going to assess that. And, you know, right now I just want him to go on vacation, have some fun, spend time with his family, man, because we trained for like probably a half a year for that fight. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of time spent away from home, a lot of time spent away from the family. So I just want him to just go get back home.
It went for you.
Yeah.
Damn. And for you. Hey, this is the thing.
Appreciate you.
What you saying about training a half a year?
We trained almost a half a year for that fight. Yeah. So, you know what I'm saying? So that's why it was so sharp. You know, everybody.
Bernie the Boxer Thigh, a close ally of Crawford, sparked controversy by claiming the judges still didn't do Crawford justice despite awarding him a unanimous decision. He argued that many rounds were scored too close, saying Crawford completely dictated the fight and should have been given even wider margins. His fiery comments reflect the ongoing frustration in boxing over scoring fairness, even in decisive wins.
This is the second time you destroy every myth. Can he take a punch? Is he strong? Is this guy too strong? Man, he did everything. He did everything, didn't he? Stood and fought with him. See how he
was in the pocket. Was in the pocket.
Turned him. Did everything. Talking about he too strong. Turned him a couple times. Pushed him. Crawford the best.
Meanwhile, Floyd Mayweather has reminded everyone of his own legacy. He defeated a young, unbeaten Canelo back in 2013 in what remains one of the signature victories of his career. Now, by calling out Crawford, Mayweather is not just looking to reassert himself but is also challenging the narrative that Crawford has surpassed him. His move has reignited the debate and possibly set the stage for a historic showdown.
He fought Floyd Mayweather at what, 23?
23.
That's so fucking young. And he was like, that was when he was
he was
prime,
in his
right?
prime, yeah.
Prime, and you were like 23. What was that like?
I trained so hard, and now obviously I try to beat him, because you know, beat him. If you beat him, you wanna be the best in the world. 23, so imagine that. But you know, he was the better man that night. A lot of experience. He's a great fighter.
So what do you think? Is Mayweather's call-out paving the way for one of the biggest fights in boxing history? Or should Money stay retired and let Crawford carry the torch for the next era? Drop your thoughts in the comments below.